Well, listen, hey, enough yapping from us. We've got OG, we've got Dignitas. Match number 1 on the way. Fellas, y'all take it away.
Well, Corelli, big questions have been asked, and I assume many answers are to follow. Dignitas versus OG. We saw the matchup yesterday. Dignitas took it 3-1, but yet again, ice has been the factor or lack thereof for OG. Do they turn it around here in a best of 5? It feels like a must-win series for them.
And I want to back what Hoodie said there at the end. I think that Evo is a big proponent to the offense of Dignitas, and if he can find those solo plays that he's been well known to find in a lot of the series that we've seen in tournaments like this, and of course in RLCS, I think Dignitas will have success. But OG, like you guys touched on, they just, I mean, to put it simply, through all the yapping that we got there, they just haven't been clutch. They put themselves in winning positions. They've gotten to game 5s, but they haven't clutched up, and that's the big thing for OG right now in this tournament, is clutching up in those game 5s against good teams, and certainly against teams like Dignitas, who have proven to be inconsistent. That's some great placement from Calm to start things off for OG.
And it's just a perfect setup. Noli gets a little chip onto Zanil. JNap's perfect center, and Calm beats the last defender. We needed to see more from the offense of OG. Maybe it goes back to those fundamentals, the old reliable, the physical play. Maybe the demos from Calm can be a factor if a player like Evo and Dignitas is not showing up in the stat card as often. As I say that, though, Evo dishes out some pain of his own, and an immediate counterattack leads way to a tie game.
Yeah, look at this kickoff. 2 challenges in the midfield, but Evo goes for the demo after his challenge, and it leaves the third man, Arsenal, with a free shot on net. Brilliant from Dignitas, and they get their rebuttal.
We've seen it a couple of times now where Dignitas have given up a pretty fancy opening goal and then immediately respawn on the kickoff, so have to feel confident about at least the strats early on. However, it has been an OG show to start. Arsenal carrying it right up the gut. Noli will handle it just fine. We'll make sure all the players are good to go. I think we are, so we'll keep things moving. Evo gives it back to Calm. Off the backboard, immediately redirected through the corner. But again, when we talked about OG coming into this series, yes, they're sitting at 2-7 in the league overall. Yes, their scoring hasn't really been there. Is it just as simple as JNaps need to score more? Noli needs to be a better factor at the midfield. What are you seeing, Corelli, that this team needs to get back to or improve upon going into this series?
Well, it's never like one player needs to do this, 1 + 1 = 2. It's always like multiple things that you have to consider for OG. And honestly, I like getting the physical play going already. Nolly and Calm are so big on finding defenders and removing them from the equation. That'll open up a lot of opportunity for OG. And a lot of their style, it's not super flashy. It's actually very basic in the way that they approach the game. They want to keep it simple. They like finding the passing plays. You'll see a lot of ground passes in the final third from OG. That's their bread and butter. That's where they find a lot of their success. And it's beautiful Rocket League again here. Nolly just putting away, in essence, a very simple goal. And for OG, back into the lead they go.
It's just really quality 50s across the board. OG, a phenomenal job so far, applying the pressure upfield. Calm leading the charge there on the following goal, taking the lead right back with plenty of time still to kick this one forward. Calm circling through the kickoff, gets it around Evo, and Evo instead will hold back and throw it forward. Arsenal clears it off the back wall. JNaps taking control of this possession and keeping it moving up through the midfield. Zanil will have to track it down, but already 2 up. Calm circling through, grabbing the corner boost. Going to be a nuisance in the back line. If OG can find the clear, maybe some space at the midfield to work through.
For Dignitas, our big criticism last night when they went up against Rebellion was they weren't holding on to the ball for long enough to generate a scary attack. And maybe more importantly, their attacks were just never dangerous. They were just throwing the ball away, or they weren't winning challenges. They were a little reactive instead of proactive. So I think that proactive play is maybe the biggest key for Dignitas. Moving downfield, finding each other, making something happen, making defenders think just past the first challenge is so important. And right now, I don't think Dignitas have done a very good job of it. It's been a lot of OG fishing in the attacking half.
I mean, you could apply that proactive label to OG, how quickly they've been up at midfield, immediately up for the 50s, and as well just following off in the off-ball offense, grabbing those corner boosts, taking resources away from Dignitas, which has led to counterattacks like this, where everybody's getting stymied in the front of the net. A complete confusion across the board for Dig and a goal for OG.
It was confusing to watch it from JNap's POV. He lets this one go. The first defender misses, and then he feints like he's going to pass it or shoot it, and then it's Calm. Just bull-trues through the play, puts it home, and that last man froze it on the goal line.
Might it be another quick kickoff from Dignitas to at least alleviate some of the bleeding? No, Calm able to again extend this play forward. He has been the X factor so far in game one, only the first of a best of 5. So again, game ones tend to show us which teams are coming out on the right foot, what others need to make adjustments. Not a whole lot other than that. Wins another 50, plays it low over Arsenal. Into the box, Noli through the corner, might have an angle on this, but instead tracks to the midfield. And again, he's going to scout on these counterattacks just to give extra information to the likes of JNaps and Com, setting up in the 2-3 zone. Noli able to get through one. Zanil pokes it free. Zanil back to Com. Free ball into the corner. Arsenal on half a tank. We'll have to try to keep this one moving.
And Dignitas, they're spending some time down here, Spaceman, trying to find a way into that OG net. But again, you have 3 shots on Arsenal. That's all the shots you've seen from Dignitas. Not too many chances are very memorable from Dignitas. Maybe a chance here, but Evo can't get by the first man on the first challenge. And look at the space that OG gets after winning just a singular challenge and a pass back to himself. Nolly puts a weak shot on target with no boost, and that was the best he could do.
Evo juggling, who's been pretty quiet yesterday, though the series did favor Dignitas in the end. One factor of the offense that had been relatively shut out was on the backs of Arsenal and Zanil to really keep things moving, and Zanil quickly gets back involved.
Yeah, a player that you might look towards him to be kind of the X factor for Dignitas. Well, look at the speed, landing and immediately going back up, and just with a bit of boost as well to put that one on target. And Dignitas are in business here, down by 1, 31 seconds left.
They always make it close. They always bring it back just at the end of some of these games. A 2-goal lead's not safe for long against Dignitas. Arsenal loses the touch to Noli. Noli continuing, has a full tank, backboard open, off the crossbar, kicked away. JNaps gonna play it to the side. And once more trying to get back to the midfield. It's OG doing a phenomenal job of controlling the pace right now.
And this is smart from Com. This is going to waste a lot of time. And he actually got up over the last man. Com, is it the signature shot? It is! Arsenal's going to put it away. Com, I did not think he was going to go all the way with it. But with no one back for Dignitas, that's the dagger.
Stealing pinch into a hat trick for Com. So again, when we criticize OG, we say we need more from this offense. Com takes it personally, and rightfully so. 4-2 with 8 to go. You have to think it's a game 1 win for OG, and Com the reason why. Gets the proceedings going early, follows up with the dagger at the end, a hat trick for the young one, and a very strong showing in game 1 from OG.
Yeah, great showing from OG, and this is the kind of thing that we've been alluding to a little bit. Hootie definitely touched on it a lot more. Is OG has had some not so great results when you look at it on paper, but when you go back and you comb through the games, you realize, well, wait a minute, they've actually been playing a lot of the top teams very, very close, and you're seeing what happens when they play a team like Dignitas. A lot of control here. Dignitas do get 2 goals, and they shot 50%, but I think realistically, OG controlled a lot of this game.
Yeah, this was the calm show. I mean, across the board, he was everywhere on the field, and how quickly, you know, Noli would kind of set up these long touches that Calm could follow through on the touch. He was jumping into the lane, quickly getting in front of the defenders, able to either win the 50 or set up somebody like JNaps to, again, work in the front of the box here. You even see it where JNaps just right space, right time. Calm burning every bit of boost he has in that tank to, again, close out the play. And with that, OG take game 1, some extra little highlights just for good measure. It was a kickoff goal to, again, bring things back from the brink around 2-1 for Dig. But from there, it was, again, the explosive offense from OG that just made everything a little bit more difficult. And once more, like, we get in these interesting situations, Corelli, where, like, all right, game 1, OG looked really, really good. Can they keep that presence going? Can they keep that urgency moving through this series? That's going to be the big question. So far, though, in game 1, Calm was the X factor. He really, really controlled most of the pitch. Dignitas have to find a way to kind of counter his speed, counter his presence. If they do, we got a series on our hands. But very strong showing from OG in game 1.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna remake this lobby. I think we lost an admin. We have a soldier down on the production team, so we're gonna. I think we're gonna remake this and then hopefully get players back in and get the lobby reset. So we will be doing that momentarily, Spaceman. I think we've kind of said everything that you would want to say about OG, and I think for Dignitas, we've kind of pegged them to be a little inconsistent at times. Great team, and there's no doubt about it. I think the Dignitas roster are certainly good players and have a good team here. It's just finding that consistency, and OG's a great team, a great barometer, I think, for any team to figure out what you're really made of. So for Dignitas, if they can get things going, here against OG. You dropped the first game. Now you know what you're up against. See if you can turn things around.
It very much feels like this is a must-win week for OG, at least just in the standings-wise for this tournament. The Shift Summer League will come to a close pretty quickly, and we're already starting to see some teams qualify for the playoff bracket over in Europe. You have Oxygen at 11-1 if memory serves correctly, so like we're already seeing teams lock themselves into playing the playoff bracket, playing for their share of first place, $9,000, which is nothing to shake at, nothing to sneeze at for a couple of weeks of Rocket League. But everybody else, I mean, this is do or die for a lot of teams, and there's so much money on the line in this tournament. You would hope that urgency can be put into the right mentality for different teams in this tournament. Because look, even though some of these squads are representing NA at Worlds, like this is still a good chunk of change and a good way to represent the offseason. There's a lot on the line here, not just bragging rights, but some serious money.
Oh, definitely. I mean, look, any opportunity to play, I think, is something that everyone should be appreciative of, from the players all the way up to even us, Spaceman. So we love seeing competition, and you're right. The competition is certainly fierce here in North America. Just to give some context here that maybe we haven't mentioned, Dignitas sitting at 5-4 right now, while OG 2-7. So there's a little bit of a difference between these guys, but ultimately OG winning helps their case. They are on the fringe of not making it out of the hole they have dug themselves at, sitting at 2-7. It would take, they don't need help from other teams right now, but they do need to win out a lot of these games to have a good shot of finishing in that top 6.
Yeah, the best possible result right now for OG moving forward is not just wins, but like 3-0s would be excellent, because we do have head-to-heads that will count. So if you're going to play a tiebreaker, you would hope that it doesn't come down to, man, we have a 13-12 map count when it could have been 13-11. That would have pushed us into the money. Very much hoping, if you're an OG fan today, that they kind of handle all their series relatively quickly. So far, Game 1 was a very positive sign of things to come, but it does come down to the execution. They take Game 1. We're still waiting for the rest of the best of 5 to get underway. Thank you guys so much for your patience. All of Dignitas seem to have joined the lobby, so with that, we are almost ready to go. And with that, Corelli, Game 1, just a sign of Game 1s being Game 1s. Is it more to come from OG? What do you see on the horizon for this best of 5?
Well, I said 5 in our predictions, so I'm going to stand by that. I think that it is going to go 5. I don't think that Dignitas is just going to roll over here and just allow OG to take control. And I don't think this was a complete blowout by any means from OG, but they certainly controlled a lot of the game. That's a little scary for Dignitas. Is in series that we've seen before, I don't think that Dignitas has shown too many times that they've been able to battle back when they've gone down, especially against a team that likes to control the pace of play and the possession like OG.
With that, we're ready to get into game number 2. All players have given the A-OK, so the server's good to go. And with that, Corelli, now we can start to really find out what this series is made of, right? Because OG come out guns blazing. It was Calm who really stepped up in Game 1 as a hat trick to, I believe he shot 3 goals on 5 from the field. Like, he was everywhere offensively, putting so much pressure on Dignitas where it felt like the defense just kind of had to hold on for dear life. Then when they escaped, there wasn't too many opportunities for Dignitas to kind of build their counterattack downfield one after the other. It was very reliant upon the momentum they gained from the opening kickoff goal once they responded to the pressure from OG, and then really hoping that like Evo or Zanil was able to escape through a pocket, get upfield, and kind of post up, wait for a rebound, catch, shoot. That is the Dignitas we expect at times, but OG's pressure seemed to get to Dignitas a little bit too much. I hope that Dig are able to turn things around. If you're liking what you're seeing here in chat, you can let us know by following all the channels available for Shift Rocket League. Let us know on Twitter. Make sure you follow the channel here. And you can find out more about the bracket currently happening over on Liquipedia for the North American side of things. Europe just concluded today. That's enough with the Yapathon. Let's get into game number 2, Corelli. I want to see where this one goes. OG taking the opening game.
Shout out, chat.
Shout out, chat.
You guys. You guys showing
That's
up.
right.
Appreciate you. And we're going to show up now and put on a show, or at least OG and Dignitas are. Spaceman and I are going to pretend like we know what we're talking about.
We're just going to yap.
We're just going to yap. That's what we do.
Right.
Game 2. We got things sorted out. The admin's back in. We revived him. We got the defibrillator out, and he's back.
Right.
So now, OG trying to double up on their series score while Dignitas trying to battle back, and they're coming out with some fervor as Evo has some space. Trying to make it work, but it's Nolly. Sneaky. And the pass to Calm. It's clinical from OG. That is exactly how you draw it up.
And you can see it from a mile away. Evo has nowhere to go with this ball. Noli works through a body block, and Zanil just caught in no man's land. That is a perfect play downfield from OG, and an even better pass. 1, 2, 3. Everybody gets a touch. 1-0 to OG.
those are the types of plays that I was kind of alluding to earlier. That's the type of goal that you're going to see from OG quite a bit there. They tried to pitch that one towards the net as well. It's on the ground. It's just quick finding each other in the lane between defenders. It's nothing flashy, but it's absolutely effective.
And just slicing through the space, understanding exactly where they want to be, very decisive. Again, the kind of credits we were giving to some of the top teams in this tournament could be said in similar fashion to OG. Very decisive where they want to be at the field, picking their spots, and even here on low boost, Noli being an X factor and stepping up on the goal line.
Oh, and Zanil probably should have read that one a little bit better, but Noli putting that one across the box and cleanly setting up his team again. He's got 2 assists. Comp's got 2 goals on 2 shots. It's a perfect game so far from OG.
J-Nap's deadly. Close quarters, able to get it net side. Noli from the corner will leave it for Com. Com back to Noli.
Oh, they're passing.
Looking for J-Naps. And they look much more comfortable in the offensive third here, Corelli.
Yeah, this is very scary. Very scary proposition for Dignitas now. OG are moving the ball with crazy form, and they're making it look easy through their defense. And for Dignitas, they're not really cutting off the lanes. It's for OG, they have been able to cut through the defense quite a bit. And I think for Dignitas, they're pretty lucky that they're only sitting down 2 goals.
Nobody's challenging, and they don't really have the boost to be able to do so, but how many times is it Noli kind of taking a defender off the lane, taking somebody out of the play where J-Naps now has so much space on the sidewall to work? A lot of that aerial game coming back into the fingertips of OG. Com was looking for Noli. Naps will take his time with this one. Evo will challenge and win it. Arsenal, respectively, underneath. Noli. Ooh, everybody kind of missing. It's a tough ball to read. The bounce wasn't great. Arsenal will feed it back. And Noli once more will just get in the way of things.
Dignitas looking for some sign of control in their attacking third. If you notice, just in the last 20 seconds, yes, Dignitas spending some time here, but I mean, have generated 0 shots, haven't really shown any attack that's directly towards the net. It's a lot of lateral movement. And look at the counter now from OG. A 3-0 scoreline, and Nolly with his 3rd assist, Com with his hat trick. These 2 guys have been linking up all game.
You can only flood the other side of the field so much. You can only crash so often. At some point, one player will escape, that player being Com. He will get downfield, he will have boost, and it takes one clear to make you think twice about pushing all your numbers up. And once more, Com has been everywhere on the field. Noli looking for the double. But this assault that OG are bringing into this series, a far cry from the woes of yesterday, from the week before. And Dignitas do not have an answer right now.
And they've got half a game to find that answer, to figure out the equation. But you look at the stats, it's only 2 shots generated on the Dignitas side. And they just can't hang on to the ball. That's really the issue. At OG, if they have a chance downfield, it's not just 1, it's 2, sometimes 3 opportunities.
Oh, man.
And maybe it's the solo plays that Dignitas are going to have to live off of, but even then, not finding that, certainly not generating him at a consistent level.
Well, OG certainly seem to be making their reads a lot more cleanly than the last couple times we've seen them on mainstream. They are in the spots, especially when it comes to some of the more reactive plays against Dignitas' touches. J-Naps, just a moment ago, set up on the sidewall, was able to meet the rebound and throw it downfield. Noli going to be there. He's going to look for J-Naps. Nope, never mind. We're going to play into the back corner and try to slow things down to a crawl because Dig have not proven at this moment to be able to handle the pressure through the corner. And even there, I mean, you got Noli bringing it back towards his own side, still hanging in the backline, Corelli. But Dignitas have no touch of the ball, they have no control of the ball, and they're just letting it ricochet through their own side of the field, not really building any momentum upfield.
There's Arsenal trying to build that momentum by himself. This is a good little fake. Zanil's got to put this one away. It's right at Nolly. Follow-up off the crossbar. And another follow-up from Zanil. And another from Evo. Everyone's trying to push this one through from Dignitas. And OG put up 8 saves to ensure a clean slate.
It's a solo effort. No need to send the house. Noli and J-Naps can stay back as long as Com is upfield, causing problems and 1v2ing his way towards the net. Noli going to hang at the midfield. No need to send numbers if you don't have to. Noli gets a touch. But again, chaos through the corner. How do you corral this possession? It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Dignitas just trying to hold on to the ball. Arsenal high off the backboard, looking for the double. Zanil, far post, and finds it finally. Dignitas have a sign of life.
Well, a well-earned goal here from Dignitas. One that they catch OG out on the counterattack. Nolly can't get the touch. Tries to go in and out back on the floor. And almost got to that shot. Zanil well placed. put that one on the right side, and finally, 10 shots it took for Dignitas, but they break through.
A deep breath from Dig. Now, how do they respond off the kickoff? Don't have a lot of time to work with here in game 2. Series lead for OG, trying to build on it. Would be a 2-0 lead at that. Taken away by Arsenal. Got Zanil with a full tank. Got to invest this properly. Zanil. Oh my God, Zanil. Yeah, that's one way to do it, man.
We talked about the importance of solo plays, and what a great first touch. Nothing off the ceiling either. Tough read for the last man, and a double tap for Zanil. Well, it was easy enough for him, and Dignitas are now in business with 20 seconds left.
Well, that's top 5. I'm going to tell you right now. JNaps off the kickoff. Possession to Dig. Evo has Arsenal in the wing. Evo holding the reset. Evo working underneath. Com will punch it away, but gets demoed. Power play here for Dig. Into the center of the box. Noli kicked away. Arsenal picking up possession. Ricochet to the midfield. Evo going to have to race this down on his feet. Excuse me, Evo from the side wall. Com tracking. Still alive. Zanil trying to catch it. Ball still for anybody's possession. And caught by Arsenal.
Zanil's got some boost, and he's got Evo with a full tank, but he can't get it over. He got some help. Evo's going to keep this one up. Evo looking for space. He got 2 to go, and a second touch. This could be it for Dig. The shot goes wide, and it drops down. What was that? 15, 20 extra seconds, and Dignitas came oh so close to finding their equalizer.
So close, but not close enough. 0 seconds is tough for the best of the best. They got almost to the goal line, but at the end, again, 3 goals, 5 saves, 3 shots for Com. Noli with 3 assists. JNaps with 2 saves on 3 from the field. Again, everybody's involved, but this has been the Com special in the first 2 games, Corelli. This has just been one player dominating the pace of play, dominating the physical game on the field, kind of really conducting where these possessions go. And we saw it about 2 minutes left in this game where Noli was taking some challenges at the midfield. I mean, OG were throwing the ball into the corner of Dignitas and then falling back and waiting for Dig to do something. Dig just did not have an answer for so much of this game.
Yeah, it was about a good 4 minutes from OG here. That last minute, though, it really started to feel like Dignitas found their footing, found their confidence maybe, or just figured out OG, or maybe OG took their foot off the gas, one of those. Yeah. And for Dignitas, then they started finding their offense again, and that's very scary for OG. I'm curious how this game starts, especially 10 seconds after the kickoff when players start to settle in the rotation, how Dignitas keeps that momentum from the last 20, 40 seconds of the previous game. Because if they can keep that going, this is a game they can take.
You know, I think back to the interview we had yesterday with Raw Greg over at RMC, and he talked about back on Optic Gaming, how that roster was really great late in series, but they couldn't put their foot on the gas in the beginning. And then it's a vice versa now over with LG/RMC. They're really great early, but trying to keep that pressure up late has been a problem. You could say the same thing about OG. It's like now that they have the pressure, now that they have their foot on the gas in the beginning of the series, their one Achilles heel this season seems to have been just closing it out, just keeping that pressure up. Going into game 3, again, your best results today for OG are sweeps. Not only helping in the head-to-head, but helping just keep some rhythm alive for this team, some confidence. Com has 7 goals in 3 games.
Oh, Arsenal missed the boost. I mean, Zanil forcing the flick is what he's supposed to do there, and Arsenal went to his back right corner, and he drove wide around the boost. And Zanil on the 4 says, hey, where's my backup? And with Arsenal not there, means a free net for OG to shoot on.
No, not another. Zanil had to quickly jump out, and now back through the midfield with low boost. Arsenal cleared off the play. Power play for OG, and they will take advantage of it, flying right into the line of fire. It's Com from the ceiling. Looking for the challenge, but taking it laterally. Nice play by Evo to shut down would have been an aggressive push from Com.
Such a shame for Dignitas to give up a goal like that. And now OG back in the driver's seat. See if Dig can get something going. I look towards a guy like Arsenal to maybe electrify his team, whether that's just in the comms or, of course, in his own play. Dignitas still to yet to generate their own shot yet.
Oh, the quality effort from Com, but pretty easy read from Evo. This should be Dignitas' opportunity to handle this possession. They just miss it again through the corner. JNaps going far post with it, leaves it out to Com on a bit of a thread. Low boost here for Dig. They'll really have to start making some of these jumps later than they'd like because they don't have the resources to boot. Com right back on the net. Nice job by Evo playing patiently on the goal line.
His 3rd save as well. Evo locking things down for Dig as much as he can. And OG maybe ramping back up. They're on their 7th shot, maybe their 8th looming to the backboard. Calm getting a sneaky touch that I think Nolly just didn't trust. I don't think he realized how free that touch could have been. Or maybe he thought Dignitas had the read all along. You're 2 minutes in. Dignitas hasn't even registered their first shot, and this one almost catching Zanil out, but it's straight over to JNaps, who's going to play it slow and try and play through the challenges. And Dignitas, great rotation to get back in time.
Arsenal doesn't look like he's as comfortable in the field as maybe we're used to seeing him. I think he just crossed 40 points, and we're 2 minutes in to game 3 here. He has not been a factor offensively. Calm with a goal on 3 shots already. The dude has 7 in 3 games. It's unreal. He's playing out of his mind. Noli looking for the redirect. Not the greatest touch. Calm following suit. Everybody getting a couple of touches on this one. JNaps, little bait. Right back up the gut. And yet again, it's free into the corner where OG might be able to find some success to help with the demo. And a power play here for OG. And an open net as well. JNaps will crash. And it's 2-0.
Yeah, great demo to open up that back wall. And that's what they needed. Nolly, if it's not Calm, it's Nolly on this team. And Calm was there to back him, Nolly up on the pass, and finding JNaps to the back post means OG doubles up their lead. And right now, looking like they want to take this series.
We haven't seen too many sweeps here on main. I don't think we've even seen one, if memory serves. We did actually G2 versus Rebellion to start off day 1 of week 1, but after that, we've had one more dig against Pirates on a boat. So only 2 sweeps on mainstream. Maybe this is the 3rd. It'd be a hell of a way to get things going. JNaps finds the 2nd in this game, and it just feels like all signs are pointing OG.
Yeah, you might start to think that maybe Dignitas is trying to throw everything at it just to make something happen. But this was the danger of, I think, walking into a series like this. You look at OG and they say, oh, well, they're 2-7. They're not playing very well at all. But again, it's that context of how they've lost. And that's kind of been the whole season for OG. They've been counted out in many of their series. I've been guilty of that as well. I've learned from those mistakes, Spaceman. I certainly have through RLCS. A 2-7 record does not describe how OG's been this series. In this league, I don't know what's happening anymore, by the way.
That's an
Players
interesting
are
rule
locked
one.
up.
Oh, no.
Nolly still makes the save. Dignitas, maybe their best look of the game, and they still couldn't put it away.
You got to score here. I mean, granted, you're 2-7. Yes, you've learned from your mistakes. There's no way they score off that. You've learned from your mistakes, I think, if you're OG to an extent. But, you know, again, for a team that seemed to be improving in all the right different angles, it was surprising that they have such a slow start to this tournament. This is the OG we expect, kind of the hyper-aggressive, the perfectly placed OG, not the fanciest, not fancy like Arsenal, but still good enough. 1:03 on the clock, and finally Dignitas find a goal from Arsenal's back touch.
I really like this play from Arsenal because he acts like he's going for the bump on Nolly, and then instead just cuts in front of him, parks right in front of him, says, okay, hit me. I'm your point man now. And the follow-up was certainly there from Evo. And now Dignitas, they have an opportunity. They've got a minute left on the clock. That's 20% of the game. You're down by 2. It's not impossible here, but with the way OG's playing, it's going to be tough.
And as long as Noli tries to burn time in the corner or JNaps holds on to this ball, less and less time on the clock for Dig to find their 2nd. They need it within the next 10 seconds or so for this to become viable. Back into the hands of OG. Arsenal not going to get there. JNaps on nothing. Still causing problems through the midfield. Bumped off the play. Even when players start to get set up, Corelli, they're getting chipped off their rotation. And it makes it more difficult for Dignitas to set up in space. Off the crossbar. Calm can't put it away. Was looking for his, what, 2nd, 3rd hat trick in this series. 13 to go, and it looks like it's a sweep.
Yeah, 14 shots from OG, and time has just ran out. OG in possession in the final third. It gets pinched away, but it still drops out to Calm. The follow-up's there. OG trying to put a cap on this one, but it was all OG in the end. Dignitas just couldn't find the back of the net. GG's comes out, and OG a 3-0 sweep over Dig.
The best possible start for OG this week, day 2, to bounce back from a 2-7 record, was to come out in a sweep against Dignitas, one of the teams that's been hovering through the mid-pack of this tournament against OG, sitting near the bottom. Calm, 7 goals in 3 games. He is, without a doubt, the MVP of this series and really the catalyst on all sides of the ball. It just seemed like once he got going, they had complete control in the orange zone for the majority of the series.
And I think everyone on OG played really well in this series. I want to point out Nolly as well. He did great in the physical game. A couple of their goals came from him opening up space. Again, you kind of look towards Calm to be that man, but Nolly definitely right behind him. And I think that OG, this is the type of game they want, they expect when they go up against their opponents. And it's a great, like you said, great way to start off the day, especially your first match of the day when you know you got at least 2 more or exactly 2 more on the day. You start off on the right foot, and that's important.